I'm going to start at 6:15. It is 6:10 right now. So I'll be starting in 5 minutes. I'm going to keep my mic muted until I actually start. If you want to submit a question, send it to scatteredbrilliancy@yahoo.com. Otherwise, I'm doing one update and one question, and that is going to be it. So 5 minutes. All right. Are you still watching it? Can you hear it? Okay. Well, it says it's 3 people watching, so excuse me, that's better than nothing. All right, it's 6:15, so I'm gonna start. All right, what's going on, YouTube? Thank you for coming to this live broadcast for Ask Travis Part 3. Shout out to Dominique for lending me his camera because those issues that I had last time were not the business. So all right, so today all I'm going to do is I'm going to give y'all an update on one of the last questions I had from last time, as well as answer a new question that I received. If I receive any questions in the time that I'm on here, I will answer those. You can send them to scatteredbrilliancy@yahoo.com. scatteredbrilliancy@yahoo.com. All right, so last time I had a question about this girl she had met this guy on the Tinder app, and she thought everything was going well, and she was talking about in the letter how she had been in a relationship for a while and she was now, dating, and she met a guy that she liked. They hadn't seen each other in person. They hadn't video chatted, but she enjoyed his conversation and he didn't talk about sexual stuff. And she had been making attempts to try to meet him in person, but it didn't work. So my advice to her was to give him like one more shot, but this is what she ended up writing back to me. All right, she said, "Hey, Travis, thank you for the YouTube video about the Tinder situation. I agree with what you said. So the guy offered to take me out last night and scheduled for today at noon to meet at a restaurant. This was arranged last night, so I was already feeling a little unprepared, but decided to give him one more chance. I even offered him the option in which restaurant we should go to. He wanted me to pick, so I offered two choices and he never responded until the next morning." In parentheses, she says early in the morning at 1:30. He replied, "LOL, nope," to both options. So I was left a little confused because he responded so late with the no. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe he'll suggest a place before 9 a.m. I replied back asking why he said no. He didn't respond until 10:30. Mind you, the date was supposed to be at 12. So he says, quote, "We can go." I'm just kidding. Here I am unprepared thinking he was serious. So I let him know how I can make it and I needed more time and knowing when and where we will be going on our first date. He then tried to say, well, we said 12 and I was just kidding when I said no, but it's okay. I just took off from work for no reason. I'm thinking, okay, one, the past two failed dates he canceled. He would cancel just about an hour before the date. And both times I had to contact him asking if we were still going. And two, he never said he was calling off from work to take me out on a date last night. He said he was off. How was I supposed to know he called out? I didn't reply. I just unmatched him, which means you delete someone's match with you so we both cannot contact each other anymore. I don't know. He would never text past a certain hour at night with me and never ask for my number, so we wouldn't communicate through anything but the app. Now that I think about it, he barely gave me any information on him. I don't even know where he's from originally because whenever I would ask him questions like these, he wouldn't respond until hours later. And when he did respond, he would start a new conversation as if he didn't see my previous questions. He also would use the excuse of a glitch in the app, but I would always think, okay, well, if you're interested in me and we've been communicating for over 2 weeks, why don't you just ask me for my number or Skype info or something besides that glitchy app? So it's all between us and I'm fine with that. At least I didn't let it last longer than needed. Thank you again for your advice, fellow YouTube subscribers. So that's what happened with her. I'm glad she let that go because clearly he was a janky person. So for this new person, I'm not going to say your name. All right, it says, "Hey, I've been watching your YouTube videos for about 5 years now and just finished watching your recent video, which was what prompted me to decide to ask you for advice about my current relationship. I just need someone from the outside to give an opinion. It's a long story, but I promise to try to sum it up. I'm 24 and my boyfriend is 27. Okay, before he became my boyfriend, we were friends for about 3 years. I liked him. He seemed like he liked me, but nothing ever became of it. So I decided to pursue another relationship, but talked on and off through text. Fast forward to October 2015, we both randomly were visiting the same church and started talking again. He confesses he really wanted me back then, but was shy to tell me anything. But things are complicated now because he likes someone else now too." She said she's trying her best to sum it up. "We were literally hanging out 4 times a week by November 2015, like an unofficial relationship. By February 14, 2016, he asked me to be his Valentine and I said yes. Mind you, between November and February, I'm questioning him. Do you see us making this relationship official by making it official? By February 20th, I don't know what possessed me, but I felt like I was being strung along. So I told him either we date or let's not speak. That's the day he asked me out. But thinking back on it, it feels like I pressured the situation, even though he said I didn't because he had to make a decision eventually. Anyway, he is close friends with his exes and the other girl he liked. I call her first choice because he did tell me I was his second choice. First choice wasn't communicating with him consistently, so I guess that's why he turned to me. He has three exes slash best friends. She says side eye. He takes them out on what I would consider dates, movie, dinner, takes off from work to go to doctor's appointments, goes on weekend trips with them. He won't at least show me who they are because he says they despise me because he chose me over them. Yet he has shown them my Facebook. And this is the final thing I'm going to share. He said he isn't in love with me. He cares about my well being, but doesn't love me like that. He says he's been praying about whether I'm going to be his wife one day, but feels like God hasn't answered. He says he wants to give this relationship a real try, but there's so many issues and it hasn't even been 2 months together yet. Of course, there are details in between, but I try to keep it short as possible. But from the outside, is this a relationship that I should continue pursuing? Am I crazy for feeling paranoid that something is off about this relationship? Seriously, I don't know what to do. All right, so as far as if I think the relationship is something that you need to continue pursuing, I think you really just need to kind of look at all the cards as far as this relationship is concerned. Red flag that I see is the fact that he has this close relationship with his exes. Um, I'm a person who I do think that men and women can be friends. I think it's possible for you to still be friends with your exes. You know, people can get to a point where they can be cordial and just be cool. However, he should not be going on weekend trips with his exes, let alone any female like that, except for you. And if you feel a certain type of way about these women, you need to tell him about it. Like I always say, one communication is definitely the key to everything, and the best thing for you to do is just to be honest about how you feel and see where things go from there. Now, if you tell him that you're uncomfortable with these situations and he hits you with the oh, well, these are my friends and this is how we are and all that kind of stuff, I would leave it alone. Because to me, if I was dating someone and I was uncomfortable with something and the person really cared about me, because he says he doesn't love you, but he cares about your well-being. So if he really cares about your well-being and you let him know up front that you're uncomfortable with it and he still decides not to do anything about it, he's kind of telling you where his head is at. You would not be wrong for leaving him alone, just like he would not be wrong for continuing to do whatever it is he feels like is right for him to do with these other women. But if he's fully aware that what he's doing makes you uncomfortable and he still continues to do it, he's showing you that he does not really fully care about your well-being. And that's the sign that you need to let it go and you need to move on. I don't think that you're wrong or for feeling a little paranoid, because I think if I was in your shoes and the girl that I was interested in was like taking weekend trips and going to the doctor with her exes or her best friends, I would be concerned and I would have some questions too. Along with the fact that you say he hasn't even told you who they are, but they know who you are. That's another problem. Why don't you at least know their names? I mean, if they're just your friends, he should be able to give up that kind of information. Now, he ain't got to give up their phone number and their address and all that kind of stuff. But the least he could do is tell you what their name is and even just show you what they look like. I don't know him, but I think he's hiding something. And I think you need to investigate and figure out what it is that he's hiding. But if in your gut, if your woman's intuition is telling you that something's going on, I would probably trust that. Because most of the time I think a woman's intuition is correct. But if you don't want to just act off that, just ask questions. I think one of the main issues that people run into and one of the main problems that people have is that people don't ask questions. People just assume. And assuming can get you in a world of trouble. So the best thing for you to do is to just ask him flat out, honestly, is something going on with you and these other women? And you need to also ask, are you still sleeping with them? Are you still, what is it that you actually do with them? Because in my mind, if you're taking weekend trips with just a friend, if you're going to doctor's appointments with friends, what else are you doing with your friends? Because people's definition within their relationships are different. So you need to find out what is his definition of a friend, because that can tell you a whole lot about what he's doing. Just like, there are a lot of girls who will sleep with a guy and then call him their brother. You need to find out what his definition of a friend is, because his definition of friend could be that he's smashing. His definition could be that he's kissing or doing whatever. So you need to find that out. So I think the best thing that you can do right now is ask a bunch of questions. And depending on the answers that you get, those answers should govern what you're going to do within this relationship. I think to only be 2 months in, you say, you shouldn't have to deal with all of this. I think that these may all be red flags for you to go ahead and get up out of there. Take it from somebody who knows about red flags. Red flags are what they are. God will throw a pebble before he throws a brick. And I think what you're getting right now are a bunch of tiny little pebbles that are kind of hitting you like in the head. And it's probably best to just get the heck out of Dodge before you get a brick thrown at you, and it really hurts. Like I told somebody else in the other video, cut things off early. Don't string yourself along. Like, don't just stay in something trying to see how it's going to work out. If a person is not doing what they need to do to deserve your time and to earn your time, let them go. Got to understand that time is precious. It's something that none of us can ever get back. And wasting it is one of the worst things that you can do, especially when you're wasting it on something that's not benefiting you. Good luck. Send me an email. Let me know how it goes. If anybody who's watching this thinks that I should tell her more to do, or you have some better advice, let me know to make sure I said everything and make sure I answered all her questions. And you're young, and he's 27, so he should be a little more mature about things, but you know, the common sense is not common. And you say he has 3 exes, best friends. Yeah, that ain't cool. So yeah, you need to ask a bunch of questions and make your decisions based off your answers. That's my advice, and I don't have any more questions. So let me check one more time. Check my email, and then I'm gonna get up out of here because that was quick, simple, and to the point. But thank you so much for those of you that have been watching and watching this broadcast. Renew. Oh, I know what I'm trying to do. Okay. Wait, hold on. All right, cool. All right, so that's it. That's all the questions I have for today. Thank you all again for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll do this again whenever I have some more questions. Make sure you like, rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Send your questions to scatteredbrilliancy@yahoo.com. I probably need to come up with a shorter email address because some of y'all might be trying to send me emails and not be the best speller, so you send it to the wrong email. But I'm about to get out of here, and I will talk to you all later. Thank you for watching. To the 2 of you, and I know who one of you are, thank you so much, and I'll be talking to y'all later. Peace.